Right, greetings everybody from Skopje, Macedonia. I'm trying to show this fence behind me. It's very colorful, and I'm showing that because I feel like that's going to be a theme of being here. I've been here only a couple hours, and even just coming from Pristina on the bus. Also, too, I'll drop a video real quick of how the bus was. It was really simple. I thought it was going to be like an actual like kind of big bus. It was just a little Sprinter. There was maybe 8 of us inside of there. And yeah, really simple drive. Okay, I had to get off the side road again before I started recording. Drivers in the Balkans, yo, they are a different beast. Like, for most of my viewers this early, it's going to be all California people. For the California rolls through street lights out here and stop signs is on Thanos level. Like, if you're not paying attention, you will get hit. I feel like I've seen at least 3 times people almost get hit, like bikes and stuff. Yeah, the traffic rules are just non-existent out here. Anyways, like I was saying before, the ride from Pristina to Skopje was absolutely stunning. It's like the ideal picturesque view of what you want to see on a fall day. Just all types of colors of the leaves. The hills are beautiful. The sun was just shining bright. The clear day. Yeah, just absolutely stunning. I was not expecting that, to say the least. So once we got through there, passport control was really simple. Funny story, all of us on the Sprinter van, like I said, there was maybe about 8 of us, and I think we all spoke different languages, and we're all from different regions. You know, USA. I know the couple next to me was from Turkey. The people behind me, these 2 boys, I'm pretty sure they were from Germany. And then another woman, I saw her Swedish passport. So we're all different, and we had to kind of go off social cues. The driver was like directing us to get off the bus at the border to give our passports. We literally walked up to the passport person, gave our passport, stamped it, and then we walked off to this like ditch on the side, and we had to wait until everyone completed, and then they had to file everyone one by one back on the bus. Really interesting, but it was really smooth actually. It was a lot better than it sounded. So yeah, now I'm here, and I could be wrong on this, but as I was coming into the city just on the bus, I was getting this kind of feeling like I've been here before. Like, this just reminds me of a city that I really enjoy and have visited. And then once I started walking through and saw the artwork, the architecture, even the fashion, there's a big difference here. Or maybe not huge difference, but there is a difference. It's more like Gorpcore, you know, puffer vest, Patagonia, that type of vibe. And then it hit me, it reminds me of Denver. And for anybody that knows me, they know how much I love Denver, how much I've considered moving to Denver in the past. So yeah, first vibe, I've only been here for 2 hours, but the first vibe is very positive. So I'm going to start walking back again, and I don't know if I'll make it before sunset, but I want to go to, it's called the Stone Bridge, and I guess it's a bridge that was made, I'm not going to give too much context, I want to get there and then explain it, but it was a bridge that was made in the 15th century, and it's just withstood the test of time, and I've just heard really good things about it. I heard it's just like just architectural memento, I guess, just for something to last that test of time and still be used. So we're gonna walk over there right now. I'm going back on the main road, and I don't want to get squashed like a bug. So I will see y'all once I get to the Stone Bridge. Yeah, so this city is definitely a vibe, total 180 vibe difference from Pristina. I've noticed way more tourists here already. I probably noticed more tourists walking down whatever street I just walked down than in all of Kosovo, all the 4 days I was there. I still can't believe I spent 4 days there. I digress. Anyways, I feel like I'm seeing more tourists here in Skopje because of big old fucking monstrosities like this. What is that thing? This thing is insane. So I guess I've heard a lot of things about the statues here. It looks like this main square has a lot of them, and I guess the statues were kind of a project that they started about 10 years ago to have a surgence of tourists, especially like during the peak season. So yeah, no better way. You know, tourists love landmarks and abstract attractions. So what better way to attract people than build big old heaping statues like this? This thing is crazy. I just can't believe this is in the middle of a city. So, oh man, this is the first time I felt like a tourist since I've been here. Like being in Pristina again, I was able to kind of acclimate myself really quick there and kind of feel regular. Like I found out how to walk around the city within a day or two. This is just totally different. Like, bro, like what the I don't know if y'all can see that back there. I'm gonna try to zoom in. Oh, I can't zoom in. Hold on. Like, this is madness. There's more down there. There's some right here. This is like Pokemon Go, but with marble and bronze. I don't even know if it's bronze. Whatever kind of statues is it. This is crazy. Alright, so now we're here at the infamous stone bridge. And like I was saying briefly before, this stone bridge was constructed in the 15th century, like mid 1400s, and it was by a sultan named Mehmed the Conqueror. Super interesting. I would have never known that had I not come here. And yeah, I guess it's just been here. It's a representation of like Ottoman culture and architecture from several centuries ago. And another interesting fact that I read while reading up on this is, I guess the Nazis, right before D-Day and the end of the war, they placed a bunch of explosives on this bridge as a threat. And I can't remember, apologies, who intervened, but at the last second, the Nazis decided not to bomb the bridge and essentially saved the major historical artifact here. So I think that's super cool. It looks badass. Just the city in general. Like, I'm sure you guys see the bike path, people biking behind me. You can see it on this side too. I just love this place already just because it's so different. Like, if someone isn't well traveled, even for someone like me that's decently traveled, I don't think I've ever been to this very, I mean, it is bizarre. Like, I read things online that people thought the place was bizarre and it was kind of off-putting to them. But I think given being from the West Coast, you know, being in LA or Portland, or like I mentioned before, Denver, even like a Seattle, this is just very like quirky, bizarre, edgy, whatever you want to call it. It's just so different. But it still has a European touch to it. Like walking down the main streets, it just is very bustling. The architecture is so cool. Yeah, I'm disappointed already that, I mean, I have to go into different places, do some little bit of sightseeing and walk around before I make a full judgment. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that I decided to only spend 2 days here. Maybe I could circle back around. That's the thing about the backpacking trip, is that I don't know really where I'm going to next. Everything's supposed to be fluid. But first impressions, and that's the thing about, I'm going to speak in hindsight right now, that's the thing about traveling that I've realized, is that everything you do along the journey is going to be in hindsight. It's just the reality. You don't have regrets, but you're going to think about things as it goes on. And in hindsight, I think I definitely would have swapped Skopje and Pristina and did 2 days in Pristina and then done multiple days here. But also here, there's not a whole lot to do here. It's just really this main square with all the freaking big ass statues. So we'll give it a day or two and we'll see how we feel about it then. But yeah, I'm going to keep walking around, and if I see anything else super interesting, I will update y'all. If not, then I will see y'all tomorrow morning. Everybody, from the beautiful Skopje Fortress, otherwise known as the Kale Fortress in Macedonian. That's what it translates to. Fortress is Kale in their language. Thought that was a fun fact. So yeah, a little history on this. This is really cool in person. I don't really think the camera, as I'm looking into it, really does it justice. So I guess this was built as early as the 6th century, and it's just been, used by several empires over the years, the Bulgarians, the Ottomans, even as far back was like the Bronze Ages, so like the Neolithic cultures. And I know there's some other Neolithic, you know, like site or like architecture sites and whatnot throughout Macedonia. Someone had recommended me there's this kind of station, I think it's called Kokiko. Could be totally butchering that. It's like a wine area as well, but that is a Neolithic kind of area as well. Just really cool history about this country. I'm just really pleasantly surprised about how much I just like Skopje alone, and the people here, total flip. Again, I feel like in hindsight, I reflected on this on my bus yesterday from Pristina. I think I was a little bit unfair to the people of Kosovo. I just think because the people there, you know, they're younger, they have, you know, obviously every little culture and society has their own issues that they're working through, but I think there I just caught some people there at a really bad time, and I felt like I took that as the whole entire population being cold, especially the young people, and I just don't think that's true in hindsight. So I can't remember how much I talked about that in the last video, but if I did kind of say anything negative, I do apologize for that. I really did have a decent experience in Pristina and Kosovo, but here in Macedonia, totally different. I actually just had a gentleman come up to me. I felt really bummed. Like seconds before I started recording this, a kid around my age came up to me and asked me what I was doing, and you know, it was like, hey, how are you? I'm doing well. And then he asked me what I was doing, and I said, oh, I'm recording a YouTube video. And he just kind of went up and he was like, oh, have a nice day, and just walked away. And I felt really bad because that was like one of the first locals that I've talked to in either country, like someone that took the time to come up to me and ask me about myself. So that was a little bit of a disappointment on my end. I might have just come off a little too strong. I'm not too sure. But yeah, this fortress is really cool. I don't know if I have any other. The earthquake. So I know that there is a museum here in the city that a person on Reddit recommended that I visit. People on Reddit are super cool, by the way. Again, talking about like the Kosovo thing, I'd posted about how my experience in Kosovo wasn't what I expected, and I put the caveat out that my expectations are the reason that failed me. It wasn't necessarily had to do with the people. And the nature of Reddit, a bunch of people just shit on me for it and said that I was an entitled American and blah blah blah. But I had a really few nice people talk about, oh, I'm sorry that your experience wasn't good here. Visit these things in my country or other countries that I visited in the Balkans. And I had this really nice guy on Reddit give me a whole list of things to do while in Macedonia. And yeah, so this is one of the things. And then he talked about the city museum, which I'm going to go to a little later this afternoon. And that talks about the whole history of Skopje, and that there was a really significant earthquake in 1963 that could have been permanently devastating for the city. But, you know, the people in the country rallied together. And like I talked about with the bridge yesterday, the bridge is one of those things that survived. And the fortress back here, it was partially destroyed and broken down, but they were able to preserve it and reconstruct it. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. I know it sounds like I'm beating a dead drum, beating a drum, but yeah, this is just really cool to see a person. There's this river right here. Yeah, Skopje it is a beautifully bizarre city, and I absolutely adore it. It's just a combination of so many, like I said, it's like basically if you took all of the Pacific Northwest cities, or like the Rocky Mountain cities, like I mentioned yesterday, Portland, Denver, LA, maybe not LA, but like Portland and Denver, like the main ones I'm thinking about, maybe like a tinge of like a San Francisco, and you combine that with their own Ottoman, you know, Turkish Greek presence, along with Amsterdam, because here's this river, and the bike culture here is so significant. That's probably the biggest shock that I've realized. I heard nobody talk about how many people bike here in the city, but there's this long trail along the river. It just reminds you, just like Amsterdam, and even how like this, it's like almost, I can't remember what they call it in Amsterdam, but it's like almost like an octagon kind of style of how they do the rings in the city. And Skopje is very similar. And yeah, just such a cool place. The weather here is beautiful so far. Like I mentioned yesterday, the scenery and the greenery is great. It's a perfect place to be for the fall. Yeah, I'm outside right now. I'm gonna walk to the city park, and then I'm gonna go do some work, do some writing, and a coffee shop, a really highly regarded coffee shop here. And then yeah, just keep walking and exploring, and we'll see what the evening brings us. So that's gonna be it for this part of the video. Even that, I don't even know what that is back there, but that's just so, the architecture here is just so funky and cool. So I'll catch y'all in a little bit. Good morning, everyone. Taking in this view of the mountains one last time. Really enjoyed my time here in Skopje, even though it was limited to a couple days. But it's time to head to the next destination. Don't even know. Oh my gosh, I'm all convoluted. My bags are packed. I just gotta get changed really quick. Last night was pretty short. I just went to the old bazaar by the city center, which is essentially the old Ottoman marketplace. They have a bunch of stuff there, like antique shops, obviously, you know, food and dining and like drinking type things. But yeah, really cool. There was some outside stuff as well, kind of flea market like. A couple hours and then came home. So yeah, I'm really tired. It's right now it's about to be 7. It's maybe 5 till 7. I gotta walk to the bus station, which is about 20-minute walk, and then there is no option for me to buy a ticket online this time. I'm gonna have to buy it from the actual clerk at the bus station. So hopefully that goes pretty smoothly. I don't think there will be a problem, but I just want to be safe than sorry. I'm gonna get there about 30 minutes before the bus arrives or the bus takes off. So yeah, I don't have anything else. Skopje, it's been great. This Airbnb was really nice. I'm glad that I got to wash my clothes. My clothes are good for the next week. And yeah, we're all set. So I got to get ready, and we will see you all in Lake Ohrid.